All right, 35 minutes after the hour here, the government shutdown now in day 20. That is one of your top D.C. daily headlines. It is day 20 of the government shutdown, and millions of Americans could lose their SNAP benefits at the beginning of November if the government shutdown continues another week. The Agriculture Department says they don't have the funds for the benefits if the shutdown continues past October 27, meaning the millions of people who rely on those food stamps will see a disruption. The move is adding pressure to lawmakers to come to some sort of a deal as the Senate now returns from a 3-day weekend and the House is still on a more than 30-day recess. ICE officials in Chicago will testify in court today about reports of excessive force, the use of tear gas, and illegally detaining U.S. citizens. 2 ICE officials are expected to respond to a judge's subpoena after the interim ICE director left the day after the subpoena was issued. Also in Chicago, the city's mayor now calling for a general strike to pressure President Trump, the White House, and his administration. A general strike, by the way, has never happened in the United States. President Trump's response to this weekend's cross-country No Kings protest was posting AI videos of himself in a crown and royal regalia with lawmakers bowing to him, and in one video and in another with himself in a jet labeled King Trump flying over demonstrators dropping feces on the people at the rallies. The president telling reporters that the protests were a, quote, joke, and House Speaker Johnson called the rallies opposing President Trump Hate America rallies. Today at the White House, President Trump will be meeting with Australia's Prime Minister, expected to talk about Australia's mineral sector, trade, and international security. Separately, the president says the 157% tariffs on China are, quote, not sustainable, as China has responded to escalating tariffs with new restrictions on rare earth exports. The president is also considering importing beef from Argentina to lower record high prices. The country's largest cattle association now asking the president instead to address decades-long trade issues that have contributed to the higher prices. And today in Oregon, a federal judge will hear arguments in a lawsuit against the Trump administration over pulling sexual education funding from programs that discuss gender identity. 16 states have sued to keep the spending in place while the case works its way through the courts. The lawsuit is claiming the conditions violate federal law, separation of powers, and Congress's spending authority.